Hey everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and here's the pink elephant in the room. Is that the right way to say it? No, pink elephant's from drunks. It's a 800-pound gorilla. You know what I'm talking about. It's time to address Heroes in Crisis number 8. This is the B cover, which, if you follow my videos and stuff, you know I collect the B covers. They're typically much better than the A covers, which I don't understand why are so horrible for this series. This is probably the first week where the covers are flipped. I really like this. I repeat myself, I know, but I'm assuming you've never maybe seen my previous video. I like this whole file thing. You know, it's like a dossier or whatever. And we've got a picture, or it's a case file, not a dossier. And usually it's a death of some character at some point in the DC universe. And they don't necessarily make sense because, you know, we're in Rebirth right now. And so, what was it? The Death of Flash, that didn't actually happen in this universe. Death of Superman didn't, you know, actually Death of Superman did happen, but it was a different Death of Superman. I don't know. My point is thematically, it's just cool for fans of the comic, whether or not it's continuity correct. This one did not make sense to me because it's not a death of a character, nor was it something to be a hero in crisis, right? This is Harley Quinn. Someone made a comment in my poll video that the thing is the death of Harley Quinzel. I think that's kind of stretching. I mean, that's kind of a interesting way to look at that I hadn't thought of, but first of all, Harley Quinzel wasn't a hero. She's just a person, and according to what they're doing with Harley Quinn nowadays, is it really their death? I mean, they're turning her into a superhero, superhero without anything super. I guess super hair. I don't know. It's stupid, but I'm already derailing, and I haven't even started the video. You probably, if you follow comics and reviews and stuff at all, you probably know that this is maybe the most controversial comic book to come out since they made Captain America Nazi. It's unbelievably unbelievable, if I can be redundant. You've probably been spoiled by what's happened in the book. I'm going to presume, though, I'm going to do this video as if you don't know anything. That's usually the better way to err on. And I didn't know where to start on doing this video. So I got to thinking about my thoughts and trying to wrap my head around what I was thinking about this series. And this book came to mind. This is DC Universe Rebirth number 1. So this was the singular title that came out to launch the whole Rebirth era. And this book, I believe, is crucial to read for you to understand. Well, maybe it's not crucial for you. If you're like me and you're not a super expert on DC, this book is crucial. The failings in this book are made quite evident by the massive success of this book. And when I say success, I mean artistically. Let's look at the creative team on this book here. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Ethan Van Sciver, Ivan Rice, Phil Jimenez, and I don't know these other guys. They're probably inkers and colorists and stuff, letterers. Jeff Johns right there is the key to all of this. Jeff Johns is a key to everything that's great right now in the DC universe. There are some other great names. I'm a huge proponent of Robert Venditti, who's doing Hawkman right now. By the way, read Hawkman, hashtag read Hawkman. It's the best mainstream comic out there. But when I say Jeff Johns is the reason everything's good, because while there are other great singular writers, Jeff Johns is like a master architect. He isn't just writing books like this one, which is fantastic. He's overseeing, or at least he was overseeing, the direction of the entire universe and making it awesome. This book is not responsible for me getting back into comics, but it is responsible for me going, oh yeah, I can be a fan of DC. This book is astoundingly good. The first time I read it, I was like, I did not want to give it a 5-star rating because I thought I was kind of getting overly excited and maybe being hyperbolic about the book. But now I've been back into comics for about a year. I just reread this book. I was flipping through it to kind of remind myself of some of the things, and he's like, no, wait, I'm just going to reread this whole thing. And when I read it the first time, I didn't understand jack about the DC universe other than Batman and Superman characters I know. But as far as the extended universe of DC, I don't know squat, right? Now I know a little bit more, and so some of this book has now been revealed. There's still things in this book where I don't understand, but that's fine. That's one of the cool things about comics. You know, you reveal layers of depth, and people who've been reading forever can get those little Easter eggs and things. And then you can also go back and revisit comics years later and then go, oh man, I didn't remember seeing that the first time. So here's all the different covers. And it starts off, interestingly enough, with the clock. And it says, the day I graduated high school, my uncle gave me a watch. It belonged to his father and his grandfather before that. The watch had been handed down generation after generation with an inscription on the back. Every second is a gift. My uncle was an optimist. I used to be an optimist too, until the day the watch broke, and I lost it. I lost time. Everyone did. These 9 panels, which are just pictures of gears, were enough to hype me that I stopped reading. And I took note of this. I said, this tale takes place after Justice League 50 and Superman 52. I went back and I read those first. I don't remember the details, but this got me excited. So I read those first. Then I came back and I read this and finished the story. I look down at it and I know without question I love this world. But there's something missing. Growing up, I had a father who was more focused on getting rich quick than raising a son, and a mother too busy worrying about what everyone thought of her to worry about me. I had no brothers or sisters, no real friends, until the day I met my hero and found hope and inspiration. I was blessed with power and a purpose. I became part of a legacy. My life was better than I could have ever imagined it would be. But it was all ripped away. As bizarre as it sounds, I used to find myself lost outside of this reality like this. Sometimes it was because I was pushing myself too hard. Sometimes it was because someone else was. Still, I always found my way home because I had a lightning rod to ground me. But as hard as I have tried, I haven't been able to find her, so I've been searching for someone else that I can make contact with. This is Bruce Wayne. He knows what it's like to lose everything too. Now you might say, Ash, why are you reading all this stuff to me? This came out like over 2 years ago. Context. I watched Sergeant Batts' video about Heroes in Crisis number 8, and he's very upset. This has been very upsetting to him, what's happened. I also watched a couple of videos. I also watched, though, our boy Zach. And Zach is very less emotionally attached to characters. He's not the kind... and I don't say this by judgmental ways anyways, but Bats is very invested in Batman and Wally West and all these things. And Zach is like, these are comic book characters, and if they turn shitty, I'll just stop buying them. And when they turn cool again, I'll go back to buying them. Like, he's not one to just be like, they're dead to me. So I appreciate that both have different viewpoints. I'll get more on this later. So we get this story, and I apologize if this is going to extend my video much longer than is normally tolerable. Some people will just get all like, oh, your video's 30 minutes longer, I'm not going to watch it. Well, I'm sorry for that. I hope that the content of my video is what's important. And watch as long as this video keeps your attention, I suppose. So all this yellow text box is essentially Wally West, who's in the Speed Force, trapped this whole time, narrating the story. And he's talking about trying to break through. And there's little Easter eggs and hints of the things to come in the DC universe. It's not important to my story now, but like the 3 Joker story that Jeff Johns working on, we can see some hints. And so we see Wally's trying to reach out to someone, because right now I'm worse than dead. Zap. Bruce. I'm forgotten. Now these are key words here. I'm forgotten. Remember this. Because right now I'm worse than dead. I'm forgotten. My name is Wally West. I am the fastest man alive. Bruce, I need your help. But no one remembers that. Once upon a time, I was the Flash too. Now it's important to remember, in DC Rebirth, there is no Wally West. He just doesn't exist. Like, he's just not part of the continuity. So this story is what launches the DC, or at least launches us into the DC. You know, this is where we come into the DC Rebirth universe. To these characters, Batman and stuff, they don't know. Barry? No, I'm not Barry, but you know me, Bruce. Who are you? I'm younger than you would remember. We all are. My name is... He doesn't remember me. The connection isn't strong enough. I'm getting reeled back. So we get a lot of the narration, and I really urge you, if you haven't read this book, or it's been a couple years since you've read it or whatever, go back and read this, because the context is important to the current today DC universe. So there are things that they've been planning all along. Bruce couldn't bring me back. I have to find someone else. I have to warn my friends before it's too late. So we get this little backstory, and this is fantastic for someone like me. I know kind of on the outside who Flash is, Fast Man Alive, blah, blah, Barry Allen. Like, you know, I'm a normie on it. But I don't really know Wally West's story. So this gives a little quick synopsis of who Wally West was and how he came to be and blah, 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 blah. And now I'm a big, big fan of My Hero Academia. Huge. Like, even if you're not an anime fan, if you like DC type heroes, and if you like the aspirational hero and everything, I urge you to watch this show. Give it 4 episodes. You know, just see if it hooks you at all. This Wally West character reminds me of the main character of My Hero Academia. It's just a wide-eyed, he's meeting his hero. His hero becomes his mentor type thing, and all he wants to do is live up to being that. And there's a lot of similarities there. And so we get a quick thing about his history, and we get a reminder back, was it the Infinite Crisis? There's so many crises. The original Crisis on Infinite Earths. Barry Allen died. They talk about that. One day the skies turned red, and Barry died saving the universe. That was a big deal. I was reading... I was not a DC guy. Like I told you, I was just a big Marvel guy. Thumb my nose at DC, but I remember, like, whoa, Barry Allen died. He's staying dead. And years would go on, and people would like, oh, no one ever stays dead. Barry Allen does. And there used to be a joke. They used to talk about only 2 characters in comics stay dead, Bucky and Barry Allen. And, of course, both have come back. So no one's really dead. And, again, they talk more about his little history and his life. And it's all really fascinating, and we get to this point. The secret isn't that a flashpoint changed the universe. It's that someone else did. And I was like, oh, I forgot that. And whoever they are, they're still out there. I can't give up. I have to get back for Linda, for Barry, for my friends and family. I reach out to something to grab onto that could bring me home. Someone, anyone, before I'm gone forever, and before whoever attacks my friends attacks again. My name is Wally West. I was the fastest man alive. I was the Flash. Whether I ever will be again isn't what's important. What is important is that I get back so I can warn everyone, so I can deliver a message. It's not over. Now, Ash, why are you reading all this? Like, this is important. Again, context. This is Wally West. This is a guy who spent, 15 years or something? I don't know the details. I'm not the DC historian. Spent a long time gone out of the DC universe. Spent years, at least, in the Speed Force, just missing. In this particular continuity, no one even knows who he is, doesn't exist. We get some Justice Society background stuff that I thought was really awesome, but I don't know enough to know who these characters are. So this is something I'd like to learn more of. Eric Breen, if you're watching, I'm sure you can fill me in on all the history. We'll get in a live talk sometime and talk about it. This issue is so fantastic. And Wally tries to reach out to him, and it fails. And here we see, I think, is this Power Girl? I don't know who this girl is either. She shows up, and she makes a comment. They arrest her or whatever, and she's like, I've come here to speak with Superman. Superman, huh? Yes, I'm a friend of his. You don't say. I believe I just did. I hate to break to you, blah, blah, blah. He may be dead. I can wait till he gets back. Or he may be dead. He may very well be. And no, I don't think this is a joke. Then why are you smiling? Because everything's going to be all right. Yeah? And how do you know that? Because I've seen the future. And then it's like, oh, so she's out of her mind. And isn't this Booster's ring? Again, my DC noviceness, norminess. I don't know all the historical. DC is like, seriously, you could get a degree. You got to be a fan for 20 years to understand the continuity, or just to have Eric Breen as a fan. I think Bats or Breen or someone will correct me. I think I've messed this one up before too. So, regardless, that line I thought was important. I've seen the future. Everything's going to be all right. So, what's going on in this book? Are we being told the truth here 2.5 years ago? Is everything going to be all right? Is this just a smoke and mirrors? Is this a red herring? I don't know. So we get lots of different stuff. It's lots of details. It's not super important to this particular story, but it is important to the overall DC universe. Back to Wally West's story. Here's the death of Superman. It's important to read that. That was a cool death. I like that more than the Doomsday story. And then here we have pre-Flashpoint Superman, who's been hiding in this world the whole time. And he's not the actual this world Superman. And then this Oz character, which I'm not really familiar with. I'm still catching up on this. The Bendis, I don't know. It's lost me. So we get this. Hawkman. I have so many questions left unanswered. I said Hawkman, but I meant Aquaman. The history I know continues to echo. Arthur, will you slow down? What is all this? Dinner on a deserted island. Oh, this is where I met you. Oh, I tried to kill you, blah, blah. Nice, so friendly banter. But we get this nice, meaningful moment. Seeing everything, I realized it wasn't 10 years that was stolen from us. It was love. Blah, blah, blah. We get this dialogue, and Aquaman proposes. My heart warms. My pulse races. It's what I needed. This is what I needed. I'm drawn right to it. I feel it. I found her. Linda. So Linda's the one that pulls him back. She's so beautiful. I hadn't forgotten, but it's been so long. I missed her so much. I've missed us. If anyone's going to remember me, Linda will. Once she does, it'll bring me back. The world might be changed. It might be under threat, but as long as Linda and I are together, it'll be okay. She's one of the most brilliant investigators I've ever known. We can warn everyone together. And we get this tragic scene where he flashes in, oh my God, Linda, I'm back. It's me, Linda. It's Wally. Take my hand and I can come home. You're Someone who loves you very much. You remind me of when I first met you. That look in your eye, questions on the tip of your tongue. You were still trying to find your voice, and I was trying to find mine. We helped each other. We will again. We'll help everyone. But it starts with us, Linda, you and me, forever. I don't know you. No. Linda, it's me, Wally West. Please, it can't end like this. And he gets pulled back again. End of chapter 3, love. Linda, I've never given up in my life. Key words here. I've never given up in my life. The signal, Gotham, it's not for us, not yet. So here's a hint at 2 characters. This is the Tom King book that won't suck. There has to be something else I can do. If I can get back to see her, if I can get one more chance with Linda. But I've lost her. I'm out of control. Pulled to people I know. I try to make sense of it. But now I'm not only lost, my body's breaking down. Soon I'll be one with the Speed Force. And I'll forget everything. Linda, the Titans, Barry, even my own name. Then I see him. In Central City, the other Wally West. My father, Rudy West, had a sister and a brother and an Aunt Iris and Uncle Daniel. I was as close to Iris as I was from Daniel, and he goes back to his family. And we get, I call him Wallace West just to differentiate the black kid. Just 2 Wally Wests is so stupid. But anyway, so Wallace West, it's his first time I think it's his first time using his power, saves a girl's life. Oh, it's okay. And he's like through the city, stopping, catches his breath, adrenaline, cool down. Awesome. It's in good hands. Without Linda, there's no place for me in this world. And without Linda, I have no way back. It's over. And as I feel myself dissolving away, I'm pulled towards the man who started it all. Barry Allen, the Flash. He's smiling as he saves everyone. He stops, as he always does, examining them between the ticks of a second to see if anyone needs a trip to the ER. One of the kids is hungry, so he brings them all pizza. He even tips the restaurant owner by renovating his kitchen. He seems happy, and that's enough for me. I can do this, and then I can die in peace. Notice that? He's not like seeking to live. He's not wallowing in his own self-pity. He just wants to do good one last time. That's what matters to him most. That's an aspirational hero. It's time to let the past go, Wally. Barry, you don't know who I am, and you won't remember, so this is hello and goodbye. Before I say anything else, you need to go to Batman. Ask him about the letter from his father. Tell him that there's something wrong with history. Someone has infected it, and you all forgot things. Barry's face. Like me. Who are you? There's no more time. I'm out of time. This is it. Barry, thank you for an amazing life. Thank you for your kindness, for your inspiration, for being there for me so many times. For now, the last time. I don't understand. I hope one day you will. You are right, Barry. Every second was a gift. Every second was a gift. That's why I won't die in anguish. I'll go with love in my heart. Huh? Goodbye, Barry. Goodbye. Wally! Grabs his hand. Even now I get choked up. Just pulling him out of the Speed Force. Oh, they made it. Tears. I'm back. You said my name. You brought me back. I'm so sorry, Wally. My God. Tears, emotion, outstretched hand. How could I ever forget you? I remember it all now. You're Iris's nephew. You came to visit. You were struck by a bolt of lightning. You were Kid Flash. Then he goes and tells him all the things he remembers. He's like, Barry's like, is this my fault? And he's looking at the whole Speed Force and blah, blah, blah. No, Barry, it wasn't. It was something else. Someone else. Ominous. Whoever they are, they did this for a reason. I think they took years from us to weaken us. They struck deep in our hearts, Barry. But who was it? Thawne? No, they're more powerful than the Reverse Flash. More powerful than even Darkseid. There's a force out there that we've never met. There's going to be a war between hope and despair, love and apathy, faith and disbelief. When I was outside of time, I felt their presence. I tried to see who it was, but I couldn't. But I know they're out there, and they're trying to attack again for some reason. I can feel it even now, Barry. Batman's investigating. Tick, tick, tick. We're being watched. Epilogue. Now we're on Mars, Earth, Mars. Watch on the ground lifts up. For every second is a gift. Watch is pulled apart. It's repaired. I did the right thing, didn't I? It all worked out in the end. In the end? Nothing ends, Adrian. Nothing ever ends. Bum, bum, bum. The clock is ticking across the DC universe. This was the big bang of the DC universe. This is an astounding book, and I'm going to end this as a part 1 video. This is way too long to do as the whole thing, and I'm going to do this book in its own separate review for people that don't want to have context. And here's the books that we see ads for launching. I'm not a Titans person, so I didn't read this. I need to catch up on Flash. This Batman is awesome. I don't know what's happened to Tom King. This was an awesome Batman book. This is what we want Tom King to do more of. Just he can do this because he has done it. I don't like Teen Titans. I've explained. Green Lanterns was cool. Like, here's DC giving us new characters, doing the opposite of what Marvel was doing. Like, we got 2 minority characters. Green Lantern, good stories, fun. They didn't focus on like, oh, our diversity, blah, 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 blah. Just did fun stories. I'm not a Green Arrow person. Aquaman, Dan Abnett, redid Aquaman and made him awesome. Now he's got $1 billion movie. Wonder Woman, I'm not really a big Wonder Woman person. Suicide Squad I could do way without. This chick is, ugh. Action Comics, look at Dan Jurgens, the master, on doing a whole new vision of Action Comics with Luthor. And then, in my opinion, one of the greatest Superman runs like ever. This is what... I was a fan of Superman before this, but this is what made me realize, oh, Superman could be like my favorite superhero of all time. Tomasi is a master. He made me like a legacy character. 10-year-old John Kent is one of my favorite characters of all time. And here's the checklist. So, yeah, I wanted to go over this with you as a contextual thing, and for people who may not either remember clearly the events of DC Rebirth #1, which there's only a one shot, or Wally's part, but Wally is the key to DC Universe Rebirth. Whether you're a fan of the character or not, you can hate the character. The point is, he's the kingpin in a sense that he holds it all together, not in a criminal mastermind sense. And this was important for me to understand what I'm going to go over in this book. I don't like legacy characters, but I like Wally West. And the reason why I like Wally West is because Barry Allen died in epic fashion, the way a superhero should die, and he should have stayed dead. Barry Allen should stay dead, and Wally West should be the Flash. Now, I'm not a big Flash guy, right? I keep telling myself I want to catch up with the Flash, and I don't, despite loving Joshua Williamson's writing, just because Flash doesn't reach out to me like it does other people. But that's okay. I'm gonna try. I want to like the Flash, and that's a big key, that I want to. Why? Because of this book right here. Because of people like this who care about writing good heroes. And I don't have to know 20 years of history of the Flash. Jeff Johns told me who Wally West was very adeptly in this one issue. If you just read this one issue, you will know how badly DC effed up in this issue. So I'm going to end this video here. Thanks for watching. This is part 1. I will do part 2 where I review this issue. Put your likes and comments and all sorts of stuff and bad words and whatever all below. Patreon, Discord links in the description. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is a long video. Take care.